Rumors! The SoundCloud's death has been greatly exaggerated. Because we are here to bring you episode number 325 of the SoundCloud podcast, Consternation of the Constipated and Sarcastically Clad Lad. Masquerade! And you might be wondering to yourself, where have you been? You say Masquerade, you just wearing masks and running around like a jackass all day? Is that what you do now? You don't even give a shit about this podcast? You took another month off? I took a hiatus because I was fucking lazy. And I found it very interesting. And in this time that I felt the need to not post a podcast, something interesting happened in the realm of YouTube. And I'll tell you about it, because it still kind of pisses me off. And it's the very fact that I got censored by YouTube. Okay? Can't even make that shit up. I was censored for a week. March 10th to 17th. Why? Because of my second community guideline strike violation. But Sang, second strike. What, Jesus Christ, what did you post? What two things did you post to piss off our YouTube overlords? I'll tell you something about YouTube. They don't fucking like it when you have an honest opinion and it goes against a set agenda or a, shall we say, pampered agenda that these fuckers want to push. So the first violation was something along the lines of me making fun of fat people because Cosmopolitan was celebrating how morbidly fat bitches were healthy and something to be proud of, and oogled at, and I just said, no, that's fucking disgusting. I hope that fat bitch runs on a fucking treadmill until she dies. At least then she'll be skinny. I didn't say that exactly, but it's a similar energy and sentiment that I shared there. And YouTube said, fuck it. First strike. And you could dispute these things with YouTube. You can dispute these things by providing a reasonable explanation. But all I said was, YouTube, what you are doing is promoting a very unhealthy lifestyle by pushing behaviors like morbid obesity and using Cosmopolitan as, using that as a platform to push this kind of agenda. I found it fucking revolting and I wanted to say my shit about it. But there goes YouTube. Can't make fun of fat people. Can't make fun of people. Can't use these kind of stuff. Censored. But that wasn't when I actually got censored. That was just my first strike. Nothing happened. It was the second strike that shit actually had consequences. And that consequence came in the form of a 1-week ban. So March 10th to 17th, I was banned. Or censored by YouTube. Whatever the fuck you want to call it. I couldn't post shit for a week. And what irritates me so much is that ever since I opened up my YouTube page, okay? And I don't fucking claim this is the greatest fucking thing in the world. I mean, goddamn it, man. I don't even have 350 subscribers. I don't boast about that shit. I don't care. I just post what I want to post. And if you want to come along for the ride, cool. That's fine by me. But with the SoundCloud YouTube page, what I have taken upon myself to do is to post every single fucking day. 365 days of the year. I don't care if it's a shitty content. I don't care if it's a 1-second content. I don't give a fuck if it's an hour content when I'm rambling and ranting about some bullshit. It's mine. It's my own. And I do it every fucking day. But these cocksuckers took that away. They took that mental fucking escape space. Maybe a burden at times. I'll admit to that. But they took that shit away from me. Freedom of speech, huh? Bullshit. If you don't line up within the set agenda that these fuckers want to push, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Facefuck, whether it be Insta whores, whether it be Twatter, I don't give a fuck what you follow, man. These motherfuckers will censor you. So, I'm getting riled up, all mad and pissy, And you might be asking again, what the fuck did you get censored for in the second time? Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, you fucking whiny cunt. I posted a video where I'm walking by a school near my neighborhood, and I see a tent up, right? And there's just this probably healthcare worker. I have no fucking idea who they are. But they are just head to toe covered in that radioactive shit that you see in a motherfucker like from Chernobyl. And they're offering free COVID testing. And I fucking bust out my phone and I'm starting to record this shit. And I have this video on my phone somewhere. I need to save this up forever because that shit pissed me off when they removed it. But, you know, I'm just narrating over the fact that COVID's a lie. I mean, this whole fucking shit is a medical police state becoming or transitioning society where you fucking sheeple have become so fucking conditioned and primed for fear when there is some sort of fucking disease or some sort of magical omnipotent fucking virus that you don't do your goddamn research, you don't look at the fucking numbers, you just fucking listen to what the goddamn media is saying, you listen to the quote-unquote experts and the doctors who, by the way, have an annual average of 200,000 plus deaths because of medical malpractice, and that's just the listed ones. But you want to trust these motherfuckers to lead you into a fucking society of absolute medical police state. And I had an issue with that, and I was fucking recording it, and I will say, COVID's bullshit. This is medical police state that you're fucking pushing. YouTube's a piece of shit. Fuck you. And I hope if you're fucking pushing that vaccine shit, you fucking kill yourself. And again, I'm not saying that that's exactly what I said, but again, that is the very gist and energy of what I was saying. Now, I know some of you hearing this will say, well, you shouldn't have said that. Bitch, the fucking problem is when you fucking espouse out, oh, we're all for freedom of speech, we're all for freedom of expression, but you blatantly fucking censor shit, you're not for freedom of speech. You are for suppression, oppression, and fucking censorship. None of that shit is for freedom. And that pisses me off to no fucking end. To no fucking end. So when I got that 1 week ban, I said, fuck it. I'm not going to post anything on YouTube for about a good few weeks. I don't feel like it. It's a waste of my fucking energy. But again, it gave me time to retool. It gave me time to kind of regroup and think, all right, let's narrow our focus down. What do I want to talk about? What do I want to do? Because, yeah, daily videos, I mean, they're nice. Don't get me wrong. It got me in a good mental space to constantly creating shit. And that's where random inspirations come, right? Yeah, I make fucking random meme videos at times, and I'm just like, ooh, cool, feels good. But taking that time off, taking a bit of this hiatus on all fronts has kind of made me seem, I mean, in a sense, how fruitless all of this shit is. But in a sense that within the fruitlessness of everything that we do, of all the fucking challenges, obstacles, roadblocks, whether it be YouTube, whether it be this fake fucking pandemic shit, you got to keep going. You got to keep fucking having your shit. And I figured, okay, take a nice little break. I'm going to get back. Get back because I just see the clown world fully unfold and nobody's saying shit about it. I mean, most of the motherfuckers out there who are popular and trending are just fucking programmed sheeps. They're so fucked. They don't see the world for what it is. They don't see this clown world for the cantankerous blob that it's become. The society is a fucking joke. We live in a society. But, you know, within my cynicism, you might be asking, well, what do you see? I see a massive sheeple just going about, staying plugged in, cradled in fear, with their ego shielding themselves from the true nature of this world. The true nature of this world that we live in, boys and girls, is that everything is an illusion. Everything is a fucking illusion. If you can see the chains, break from the shackles. You can be free. Just unplug. It's as simple as that. But I know a lot of you motherfuckers have all your emotional, I suppose, displacement, emotional displacement put upon your false idols and these celebrities and these consumerism just laden crap. And you think it's difficult to plug out. It's not. It's not. Learning to unlearn might be a kick in the ass, but once you do it, it is relieving. It's great. And you really see the ridiculousness of this clown world for what it is. And you have all these fucking sheeple clapping at the fact that Dickless Dudes are in women's sports. Yeah, man. You chop your dick off. You got no balls. You're a woman now. Like, what? Motherfucker, what? That doesn't make any sense. That is biologically improbable. Damn near impossible. And I hate the fact that if you go against that shit, you are some fucking horrible fucking baby killing terrorist or whatever the fuck these goddamn liberal cocksuckers want to fucking talk about. Leftist morons, pedo fags. I don't give a fuck what you call them, man. They're all fucking losers. And these fucking losers always have to sympathize, always have to empathize, always have to do some fucking bullshit of just caring too much. Like those stupid ass Care Bears, but if you care all the time, nothing matters. That's facts, man. And what's irritating is that you have to care about everything now. So if you don't make a positive statement towards Dickless Dudes in women's sports, then you're not within the inclusive group of morally righteous people, which is a load of bullshit, because this has nothing to do with morality. Dickless Dudes in women's sports, which is a whole fucking issue all on its own, where if you chop your dick off and you think you're a woman, you are mentally ill. I don't know what the fuck else I need to say, but a dickless dude in a woman's sport, you're a fucking loser who couldn't compete with dudes, and now you have to chop your own dick off to compete with women to feel better about yourself? What are you, a fucking moron? Get a life, you fucking loser. And stop having people care about your shit. You fucking assholes, you dickless motherfuckers are so fucking stupid that in the sheeple society, you got people fucking clamoring along to your shit, sympathizing with you, and I look and think, you guys are just assholes. You guys are just attention-seeking assholes that can't make shit for yourself. You're like those weak-ass feminists. We're like, it's all about the women, down with the patriarchy, but you are literally taking your steps on the backs of men. You fucking wasteful whores. Fucking pisses me off, man. And I have moments like this where I can share my opinion and be pissed off, but on a day-to-day, do I give a shit? No! I'm saying all this shit because it popped in my head. I wrote it on the goddamn script and I'm fucking saying it. But on any given day, do you really think I give a shit about the time-consuming and wastelessness of politics, social and current events? I don't give a fuck. I'll glimpse that. I'll be like, oh, that's kind of fucking stupid, but I got shit to do. This is a waste of my goddamn time. So the natural question comes in. What isn't a waste of your time? What isn't a waste of your time? You're so high and above all this stuff. You call people normies and cunt, and you're just so mean. You don't like anything. You're a cynical bastard. What do you do? Well, exercise, reading, sleeping, and the alt sports balling. Obviously, you add a little bit of manga and fucking little anime in there. Oh, baby, you got a stew going. Now I love it. And when it comes to exercise, I don't fucking boast my shit. I don't. All I do is just walk around the fucking block 3 to 7 miles. Not every day, but, given within a week, probably 2 to 3 times. And, add the odd, indoor weightlifting shit, which, by the way, Las Vegas is finally heating up, which means garage, gym, workouts are going to be back, and I'm so fucking excited for that shit. For those of you who don't know, and for those of you who have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, so since last summer, figured out a way where, because Las Vegas goes up to 120 degrees, my garage gets super fucking hot in the summer. And the awesome thing is, because it gets so hot, and I do have just some basic, simple workout equipment, I can just go inside the garage, sweat a shit ton, and feel really good in terms of workout rather than going to a fucking gym where I am just distracted constantly by noise, colors, the whores, the douchebags, you name it. And so that's going to be an exciting time around May or June when the garage is super fucking hot. And it's within that pain you feel gratitude of being alive and being able to work out. It's a weird way to explain it, but I do like that. I do. But things like reading, I mean, obviously I talked about manga. I talk about reading certain titles, probably in the past podcast of trying to pick up Mein Kampf again. Although the issue with Mein Kampf that I always have is the translation. And I found a decent enough ebook copy online, but one of these days, or maybe in the near future, if I could learn German, if I could speak the language of the Germans, I would love to read Mein Kampf in German. I really would. I really would. The emotions and the implications and the what's the fucking word I'm trying to use here? Any whore. Any fucking whore. It's a lot more powerful to grasp in the original language. So that's something on my list. I've been reading, that fucking shit. A fucking book about the pirates. I forget the goddamn title. But yeah, reading, man. Read. And sleep. Guys, I know all you motherfuckers are busy. You got shit to do. You gotta go out. How about you fucking allocate time to sleeping? Plan your day out. Just sleep. Like, get at least 6 hours in there. You gotta divide it up, divvy it up. But sleep. Like, it's not a waste of time. You know what's a waste of time? Going out, getting shit-faced, and then destroying your body. What the fuck is the point of that? Oh, socializing. You can socialize without that shit, you dumb fuck. But yeah, sleep. It's not a waste of time. Exercise, reading, sleeping, not a waste of time. It's good shit. And of course, talk about anime. Talk about my, Japanophile kind of mindset where, yeah, man, I'm only really watching One Piece right now, but it's a nice step away from all this Hollywood shit, which is just hampered by sociopolitical issues that writers, just talentless writers, want to glom their shit on. And the only reason why they do that is because they have no talent. They can't write an original story, so they have to just reflect what's going on in society without any sort of subtlety or nuances, and just, it's garbage. And that's why I just don't watch anything in American media, generally speaking. Unless, of course, it's sports ball, right? And with sports ball, I gotta put that shit on mute any fucking time. And this is why, after cutting cable and finding various websites to watch these games, it's cool to have channels like MLB Network, NHL Network, where you could just not watch the commercials and just focus all on the game. And that kind of filtering out is what you really need to do with sports, man. Because if you don't do that, if you don't mute, you are just becoming a fucking mindless fucking blank canvas for all that fucking commercial shit to just attach themselves onto. Like an average viewing of a Super Bowl, right? You have what? Maybe an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 25 minutes of full game. And then the rest of the what? 2 damn near hours are just fucking stupid ass commercials. It's garbage. Like, no. So, within the realm of sports ball, I mean, I just want to focus on the sport. Because that's what I'm all about, man. You know, sports just has a way to just exemplify what meritocracy is supposed to be. And, you know, also fun in the fact that it's a bunch of grown-ass men playing a children's game in a more physical and violent setting. And it's simple, right? It's so simple, it's so simplistic, and we all think it's kind of stupid, but it's a good way to just escape. But, you know, in the realm of sports ball, there are certainly times where players, managers, head coaches want to escape, and we certainly caught a glimpse of that in Seattle with Russell Wilson. And yes, boys and girls, as a Seattle Seahawks fan, this situation with Russell Wilson during this offseason, well, at least this portion of the offseason, has been really fucking annoying. I can't even fucking begin to explain how annoyed I was with Russell Wilson. And I didn't post anything within that time, whether it be the podcast or on YouTube. So, Russell Wilson was so pissed off, or maybe irritated, or that whore wife, Sierra, got in his ear and just whispered all this ego shit to Russ. And Russ, after the Super Bowl, you know, where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the shit out of the Kansas City Chiefs, who didn't show up except Patrick Mahomes. Russell Wilson gets on air, you know, in public, media, whatever, and goes ahead and lays out the dirty laundries of the Seattle Seahawks. He has no protection. He hates being beaten up. And he doesn't want to trade, but here are the list of teams that he would like to be traded as per his agent, which pretty much means Russell wants to go to these 4 teams. And those 4 teams, I mean, they're not of importance anymore, but if I'm not mistaken, it was the Cowboys, the Bears, the Raiders, and I forget the other team. Who gives a shit? So, when it came down to it, it was really within those 3 teams. Raiders, Cowboys, and Bears. And the Raiders, I mean, it kind of went to show last year with the offense that you could still rely on Derek Carr. He's a pretty damn good quarterback to have. And with the weapons that you got in that Raiders offensive scheme, you should be okay moving forward. So Raiders stuck by with their QB, with their assets, and didn't trade. The Dallas Cowboys had a situation where Dak Prescott was coming off of an injury, and the season where everything unfolded in the worst way possible with these backup quarterbacks, Andy Dalton, it became pretty evident that Dak is a franchise quarterback. You have to pay him. You have to have him in there. And he got a massive extension per Jerry Jones to stay. And kudos to Dak. I love Dak Prescott as a QB. I think he is fantastic for Dallas. And, you know, if there was a way where if the Seattle Seahawks got a couple of first-round picks, Dak Prescott, you know, for Russell Wilson, I wouldn't have been mad. I would have been ecstatic, actually. But kudos to Dak on getting the bag and getting the money. And so that leaves us with the Chicago Bears. And the Chicago Bears really were that team that was pushing for the Russell Wilson trade. And it nearly felt like it came through fruition when the Seattle Seahawks received a massive offer for Russell Wilson. And it was 3 first-round picks, a couple of starters, and I would imagine a couple of supplementary draft picks on top of that. But the Seahawks vehemently declined. And I thought about it, and initially when it was maybe something along the lines of a Raiders trade where you're probably trading within the top 15 picks, right? 15 or 10 picks, if I'm not mistaken. And certainly with the Cowboys, I mean, you're picking within the top 10, top 12. I wouldn't have minded, but thinking about it, the Bears, in terms of their, draft position, wasn't ideal. I mean, 20th some odd spot, and even if Seattle got those 20 some odd spot pick for this year, and then the other first round picks, which would precede the following seasons, I mean, how good would Chicago be, and how low would those picks be with Russell Wilson at helm? So, initially when the Russell Wilson shit happened, I was pissed. I was like, dude, are you really going to do this shit where people love you in Seattle? They want you here forever. And you just lay out the dirty laundry against your fucking O-linesman? Like Dwayne Brown and Damian Lewis weren't doing shit for the whole fucking year. Like, really? You could look at Blake Snell. You could look at maybe a guy like, Upati. Or Ethan Pacic, who got a fucking extension for whatever goddamn reason. You gotta think, really? Really, man? Like, you couldn't just fucking go to your coach or GM and talk about it there? You had to go on the public fucking radio setting or a public fucking interview and lay that shit out, Russ? I got pissed when that shit initially happened. I said, all right, motherfucker, if you want to leave, fucking leave. Like, you want to be that fucking cancer? You want to leave your legacy like this? Then fucking do it. But the reality of the situation was, Russell Wilson was the kid in high school who was screaming at his parents, I'm running away from home and I'm never coming back. But eventually his ass gets picked up around the park after he, circles the block a couple of times and then gets treated to ice cream. How do I know this? Because I've done the same fucking thing, Russ. I'm speaking from experience, you jackass. You are coming off as a spoiled kid. Do you understand how fucking hard it is to have a consistently good team like this, a good team culture like this? Just look at the Jets. Just look at the Texans. Jesus fucking Christ. The lack of self-awareness coming from Russ at times, especially from last season to now, it's appalling. And on top of that, it's annoying as shit. Because you're thinking, you're getting paid 30 fucking plus million, and you're eating how much chunk of the fucking salary cap space, yet you are bitching and moaning about your O-linesman? You fuck! Russ, I love you. I got 2 of your goddamn jerseys. But can you just shut the fuck up and play? Jesus fucking Christ. And the thing with the trade too, if the Seattle Seahawks traded Russell Wilson prior to the draft, which is what you want to do ideally to pick up those goddamn assets, right? They would have been fucked. The Seattle Seahawks would have been fucked by a $30 million dead cap space. After the trade or after the draft, 18 mil. But at this point, I don't think it's going to happen. With the way the Seattle Seahawks are building up the defense right now, which, I mean, huge kudos. Although we did have to say goodbye to Shaquille Griffin and Jaron Reed. And I don't think Shaquem is coming back either, but kudos to the Griffin boys and kudos to Jaron Reed. But they don't come back. But we got guys like Carlos Dunlap coming back, which is dope. Chris Carson gets signed, re-signed, and I'm pretty stoked about that. But there were certain moves like the Gabe Jackson move, the trade with the Vegas Raiders, which I thought was pretty decent, and the Kerry Hyder, is that his name? I could be mistaken on the name, so I apologize if I'm getting that shit wrong. But formerly of the San Francisco 49ers, a beast man to add to the pass rush. And I think with Seattle and this defense, we're going to see something really special. Now, thing with this offense. I mean, Russ, if you can not be a fucking cunt this season and just ball out, that'd be great. Seriously, this offseason just kind of turned me off from Russell Wilson's whole general behavior. I mean, I recognize the play. I recognize the numbers. I mean, this man he's a Seattle legend. He's the greatest quarterback this franchise has ever had, which, I mean, you could take that as a sign of sadness or, jubilation, but that's facts, man. Russell Wilson is the greatest quarterback this franchise has ever seen, but he's acting like a little bitch. So go out and play, Russ. And, man, if by the end of this season you don't win a ring, I don't know. I don't know. Do you want to burn this bridge and just fucking leave? Your choice. Your fucking choice, motherfucker. But go Hawks. Go Hawks. You're so negative. Bitch, I'm honest. And I know most of you motherfuckers don't got that shit. Honesty. But I do. And that's why I gotta fucking talk up and down with Russ like this. Because it's my team. Sports monogamy, baby. I only cheer for the one team in one sport, right? That's the whole deal. And within that setting of sports monogamy, if you don't speak honestly, if you don't speak critically, and, I suppose, trying to get some detailed look into things. I mean, what do you really call yourself? A fan? I mean, I would consider you a casual. So, yeah, this is on par with just cheering for the one team, right? I mean, you're gonna have heartbreaks, you're gonna have heartaches, and you're gonna have some great moments, but you're also gonna have some down moments. But that's how we do things, baby. That's how sports ball works, right? Although, within their very shortened existence, the Vegas Golden Knights hasn't really had a lot of heartaches to really speak of. I mean, we're not talking levels of Buffalo Sabres shit, nor the Detroit Red Wings, but the Vegas Golden Knights have more of a first world problem heartache deal than anything else. Because this season, 2021, the Vegas Golden Knights are absolutely killing it. As of this recording, if I'm not mistaken, they are first in their division right now in the West. And they are playing some pretty damn good hockey. I think Robin Lehner coming back. Actually, he played last night against the LA Kings, Monday. And he looked good. And Marc-Andre Fleury, you can argue potential Vezina, but I think there's a couple more hiccups because of the Colorado Avalanche games where I think it's going to be a bit difficult for him to get the Vezina nod, or at least the Vezina win. Definitely not. I would argue top 3, but Vegas has been very strong, even without a guy like Petro for a good minute. But we'll see. I mean, it's almost a little bit over half the season done, and I'm just fucking excited to see what the playoffs will hold, because the season is just divisional games, right? I mean, it's only within division you're playing each other and teams. And I mean, if you're in the North Division, you're facing a team anywhere from 8 to 10 times, whereas other divisions, it's 8 times. So by the time you match up in the first and second round, I mean, it's going to be a fucking bloodbath. Gonna be glorious, and I can't wait. Can't fucking wait. Hockey, man, it's been so good, man. When Vegas plays well, I'm a pretty happy camper. But again, the first world problem heartaches has always been Vegas within the first is it 3 seasons now? Yeah, we've been in the postseason 3 times now. Yeah, so 4th postseason, what will happen? That's the question. I mean, we had a Stanley Cup final loss, a first-round exit after being up 3-1 in the series, and then 3-1 in the third period. Then last season, where you just got your teeth kicked in by the Dallas Stars and Anton Khudobin. I don't know. I don't know what you really need to do to get over that next step if you're the Vegas Golden Knights, but a cup win would be fucking amazing. President's Trophy and a cup win would just be spectacular, but let's not count too much. We just at least have to make it to the playoffs, and then go from there. That's just how this shit works, man. Never fucking get arrogant in the playoffs. Never. Just take a game at a time. Don't get fucking cocky and shit until you win. And even if you win, don't get super cocky about it. You won. That's all you gotta do, right? And I had to learn that shit throughout the last, few years, but especially after, 2020 when the Lakers and Dodgers, of course, won their championship. But with the Lakers right now, it's a very murky road to get to the playoffs at the moment because life without Anthony Davis and LeBron James has been very interesting for the Lakers. Now, the Lakers are actually coming off of a back-to-back win, one against, I want to say the Cleveland Cavaliers, and one against the Orlando Magic, who went straight fucking selling right on trade deadline day. So the Lakers have been struggling. And obviously, not having your two superstars will do that, but the pieces here and there, I mean, they're not concerned to the point where I'm panicking where if you have Kyle Kuzma play 35 minutes for a night, I'm like, this isn't going to kill us. But, you just hope that AD Luong comes back in a hurry. And their expected return should be within a few weeks, maybe 2 or 3. But hopefully it's not too long. And hopefully it doesn't fuck the Lakers out of, a solid seeding. Which, to be honest, does seeding even fucking matter? Other than the gloating shit of, we're first in the West. Who cares? Who gives a shit? Just get to the playoffs. See what happens. Because this crew, obviously different from last year, and the Lakers are all about that weird experimentation with the head coach Frank Vogel on helm. And it's going to be interesting because you have Andre Drummond coming into the fold where I've always called Andre Drummond one of the most overrated centers and a one-dimensional center, but that's exactly what we need right now. Kind of like Dwight, where he can get in the post. I mean, he's a fucking rebounding monster. And he could just be if switched on, can be a defensive beast. So if we can somehow channel that for Andre, this Lakers team is going to be nice and mean. And of course, I'll be honest, I haven't really been watching Lakers game all too much, so the dynamic of the entire team is kind of lost on me in totality. But the Drummond pickup, I think, is solid. I mean, it's something that I've been concerned with since the start of the season with the lack of, centers, that kind of interior strength and presence that Dwight brought, obviously, off the bench, and you could actually start him too. But Andre, I think, is a good pickup for the LA Lakers, and let's just see where things go from here, right? Because it's just a wild, wild thing right now, boys and girls in the NBA. But, we'll talk about the general landscape of things in the sports ball realm, probably more so next week than this week. But hey, man, by the time next week, you know what's going to be happening? Arsenal will be back to playing football because right now, international break is around and there's no regular football action. It sucks, but it is what it is. We got to roll along with it this week until the weekend pops up where Arsenal FC will be facing Liverpool on Saturday. And I'm not really sure what the fuck to expect with Arsenal FC because this club's eternal struggle to perform when it counts is just textbook. I see it all the time and I think, chapter 69, conceding 2 goals after being up 2-0 and then drawing a match. I see. Seen this before. But with Liverpool, I mean, I'm a little bit more confident with what Arsenal can do potentially because of the way Liverpool has been struggling. There's really no other way to say it. Liverpool has been absolutely ass. I mean, especially this half of the latter half of the Premier League season. And I would love to see Arsenal just fucking destroy Liverpool. You know, was it 5-1 or 4-1 a couple years back at the Emirates when Liverpool wore their black? It might have been 2017 or 2015. Could be wrong, but I want something like that. But knowing me and knowing this club and knowing our fucking luck, we might lose like 2-1 in extra time. Who the fuck knows? But what I do know, boys and girls, is April 1st is approaching. What that means is baseball will be back. Yes. Opening day for Major League Baseball is on April 1st. And boys and girls, I am so fucking excited for some Dodgers baseball. Because, oh my goodness, spring training just doesn't have the same kick to it, man. Regular season intensity, grind, action. We're about to get back in it, baby. And for whatever reason, as much as I'm excited about the Dodgers, I have a feeling despite this loaded roster, the Dodgers are going to be a bit more slower to pick things up to start the season. And, you know, I don't think that's a huge problem. The real issue will be, can you win the NL West again? 9 years in a row. Can you make it a cool 9 straight? Because the Padres are right there, right? They're fucking solid. They look really good. Their offseason acquisitions have been pretty impressive. But, you got to do better if you're the Dodgers. You got to do better. You're the defending World Series champion. You're NL West champions. NLCS champions. It kind of goes without saying. But you got to do better. That's all I can tell with the Dodgers, man. I mean, you got to do better. Our pitching staff is just fucking fuego. And our hitting core, beauty. We got to do better than everybody else. And just hopefully do amazing things throughout the season. And maybe in the postseason. You know, one of these days, a team, maybe the Dodgers, will break the 2001 Seattle Mariners winning record. Right? 106 wins, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it 112? Might have been 112. 116 or 112. I could be wrong. Boys and girls, please look the fucking numbers up. Don't listen to me. But with the Seattle Mariners, potentially, if they miss the playoffs, making and marking the 20th anniversary that they will miss the playoffs, maybe it's the time the Dodgers pick up that mantle of greatest winning season and top that off with a world championship. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We got to just count those days down till April 1st, baby. And that is going to be beautiful. But what's also going to be beautiful moving forward, boys and girls, is with the Sky Lounge, I'm going to actually minimize the amount of podcasts I post for the time being. I think weekly podcasts, for sure every Tuesday, audio version will be up. And if you do notice, this entire podcast was audio form. I don't think I'm going to do video for a while, and because my phone's also cracked, which, yeah, fun story, boys and girls, my Galaxy Note 9 screen cracked about a month ago, and I haven't fixed it because it's expensive as shit. It's like $270, and I don't have the money for it right now. But once I get that shit fixed, probably like mid-April, we're going to get back on the fucking camera and do more video shit. But for the time being, I'm going to do weekly podcasts, more audio form. And this is what we used to do, baby. This is the classic. This is fucking retro style. And you're getting it for free. So we'll do the weekly podcast every Tuesday. Maybe mix it up once in a while. You know, weekend ones here and there, depending on the situation, what's going on. But yes, you also have something to look out for in June, which is 30 for 30 and 30, where I will do 30 podcasts in 30 days for at least 30 minutes an episode. So be on the lookout for that. And that'll do it for me, boys and girls, on this episode. So, if you want to follow social media shit, I don't care. I don't really check that shit anymore nowadays. And just so, yeah. Fuck off. Be tuned in next week.